Okay, so this is how I organize my iPhone 11 Pro. I have only one page of apps, so I like to keep my apps as minimal as I can. I like to keep my phone as minimal as I can. So I have nothing hidden here, just that. So I have my calendar where I put my reminders, my to-do list on it, and it's always nice to know what date it is. Then I have my photos. I have around 2000 photos and I like to keep them as minimal as I can. So if I take too much photos in a day, I just like to take 5 minutes to just delete the ones that are not good. And same for the videos because I film everything on my phone. As soon as my YouTube videos are uploaded on YouTube, I delete everything from my photos. So I save a lot of data doing so. Camera will, obviously. Then we have the folder navigation. So I have maps and Google Maps because on a day-to-day basis, on my quote-unquote normal life, I use only maps, but when you're traveling, Google Maps can be really useful because it has a lot of restaurants that Maps doesn't know. So I just like to keep them both while I'm traveling. But if I'm like in Paris, I just use Maps and delete Google Maps. Then we have the weather. It's really always nice to know what the weather is going to look like, especially when you're traveling. And then we have the clock. It is my alarm, my everyday alarm, obviously. We have my notes. I like to write down my thoughts if I don't have my notebook with me, and I like to, I don't know, write my groceries list, my to-do list, everything. Then we have the social media folder. I try to use social media really like less than 1 hour per day. So I have Pinterest. I still have Pinterest because I love to keep like folders of things that I love to inspire me because I used to do that as a child a lot. I had like a lot of books where I just collect images, pictures, and I quite do the same with Pinterest. So for now I keep Pinterest. WhatsApp. When you're traveling, again, it's really convenient. I only use that to contact my family. So I don't have a lot of threads. I have maybe six threads running at a time. Um, for example, we met a lot of other travelers on the road, so sometimes we exchange numbers, but then after a few weeks, like you know that you're never going to contact them again, so I just delete the the thread to keep it simple and just have the thread that's with the people that I'm talking to daily. Well, YouTube and YouTube Studio, obviously, since I do YouTube, I have both. And on YouTube, thanks to Explorer, I have my. You're going to see. Okay, okay. So I have my watch history off. So when I want to see something on YouTube, I just write down the thing, and I'm not tempted to watch hours and hours of videos on YouTube. So that's a really good tip that I learned from Explorer. And then we have InShot. That's the app that I use to edit my YouTube videos. So it's 18 euros per year. And yeah, I use that to edit my YouTube videos. It's really simple and I really like it. Then we have the money folder. I use the app called Banking to check on my money every morning because it's easier than the other app right next to Banking is my bank, and it's more complicated to connect to that my bank, so I just use Banking to check on my expenses every day, and it keeps really good track of where your money goes. For example, on transportation, on accommodation, on food. You can really see how you can improve your expenses, and you to check your saving accounts also. And I have my Tree Counts app. It's for, like, if I own money to someone, I just write it down, and we use Tree Counts with my partner because sometimes he pays things and sometimes I pay things, so I we can know exactly who owns. Uh, oh, that's hard to say. Like, yeah, we know exactly who owns something to one another. So that's my three apps for money. Moving on, we have settings, obviously, and we have the travel folder. I use Couchsurfing to travel, to sleep at people's houses and meet a lot of locals. So that's an amazing app. I use Workaway because it's a volunteering app when you're traveling. I talk about it a lot already on this channel. I have Worldpackers. It's quite similar as Workaway. Both are you have to pay for these apps, but they are really great to find volunteering things around the world. So when I will stop traveling, obviously these apps I will delete them, but for now, because I use them very often, I just keep them. We have Polar Step. If you don't follow us on Polar Step, you can. I have the link on my Instagram. So I use Polar Step to obviously I'm gonna show you, to keep track of how travels. We have we are now 93 days from Paris, and we have already made almost 15,000 kilometers. So you can follow us all around the world, and we are now in Thailand. Okay, moving on. We have hostel world because we sleep at hostels a lot, so I found all how cheap hostels on that app. I use Kayak to find really cheap flights, and then we use Grab because it's the Uber app of Thailand. So sometimes if we're in need, we just use the app Grab to go to one place to another. And I just realized that I haven't talked about Instagram on this social media folder because I do have Instagram, but to not be tempted to go on Instagram every day, I just deleted the app from my page, front page, because now, as you can see, you just can't see the app. So I have my Instagram account, but I don't have the app, so I don't go there every single day. That's a little tip. And then we have the productivity folder. I still have two email address because I have Outlook since I'm 13 years old, and that's my old email, and I use all my work related with Outlook. And then with YouTube, I use Gmail because, well, you have to have a Gmail account when you have YouTube, obviously. So I have both, but maybe in the future I will delete my Outlook mail and use only Gmail. We'll see. We have the files because I have a laptop, but I don't use really often. But because I'm traveling, all my apps, all my documents, important documents, are on my files, so it's really really practical. Free. This is my mobile operator, so I can know exactly how much data I use and not be overcharged with money if I just take too much internet, take too much data. So I just keep track of this. I have my calculator and then Apple Store. Now we have music. I have Spotify. I don't use Spotify. I use Spotify, but I don't use the premium account of Spotify. I don't pay Spotify, so obviously I have ads, but it saves me 11 euros per month that I can put on my savings. So €11, it's €11, and I'm really happy to put that money on my savings account instead of Spotify. I have Nature Space. We use that when we just can't fall asleep and when we are in like a really stressful environment and we just need to be calm. So it's like sounds of nature, sounds of rain, sounds of thunder. It's really amazing. And it's free. We have Shazam, obviously. You know Shazam. If I want to know title of a music, I use Shazam. I have Babbel because I'm learning Spanish and Swedish, and I paid maybe 4 years ago Babbel because it's you have to pay, and I paid €150, but to use all the languages classes for life. So that's really expensive, but now I have Babbel for life and I can learn every language, and that's really really cool. And finally, we have the health folder. So I use health for my cycle tracking and walking distance to know how many miles, how many kilometers I do per day. Um, yeah, I want to walk at least 5 kilometers per day, so I just keep track of this here and cycle tracking. Okay. And we have now Yuka. I don't know if you know this app. It's a free app that scans food and cosmetics products in order to know their impact on your health and the environment. So I use that every time before buying a cosmetic product. So all the cosmetic products that I show you on YouTube, they have been scanned by this app, and it's always a really high score. So I can buy safety safely a product. Okay, so and then on downside we have the calls. We have Safari. I only use Safari to go on internet, and I have the messages. And on messages, I keep only 3 threads running at a time. I keep it really really minimal. I just keep the person that I spoke to daily, again like WhatsApp. Okay, so that's it for now. I just love to have my phone as minimal as that. I don't know how people have like so many apps. I just don't know how people can do that. I think it keeps me really calm to have a phone as minimal as this one, and I don't spend so much time on my phone because it's not for entertainment. It's quite more like a tool, and I just love it that way. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I would love to know what your phone looks like and what you think about that. It's not extremely minimal because, especially while traveling, I need a lot of apps like that. But yeah, I keep it as simple as possible. Okay, thank you and see you next week. Bye bye.